welcome to the Guitar Collection. Well, it's another first for me today, and definitely a first for this channel. I've been hearing amazing things for quite a long time now about this luthier's guitars. I've read about them, I've listened to recordings, and I haven't quite gotten my hands on one. So today is a first, and I'm starting to understand why he is such a prominent and popular French maker of today. I mean, first off, right when you look at this guitar and when you play the first notes on this guitar, it's like you immediately feel the influence of the greats that come before him. Of course, the great Dominique Field, Daniel Friederich, Robert Bouchet, and many others. They come together on this instrument in a beautiful way, and I'm going to try to articulate it in this video, but also try to let this instrument speak for itself. Before I play anything on it, let's talk a little bit about the aesthetics and how these makers all come together on this instrument. I mean, first off, you'll see things like the headstock on this guitar, which is obviously very close to the Dominique Field headstock with his own little touches. Maybe the sides here, these ledges, might be a little bit more sharp than on Dominique Field's guitars. And it's this nice little embrace of tradition, but adding his own touch. And of course, this relative shape is similar to Daniel Friedrich's. And then, looking at other aesthetic details like the rosette, very classy. I mean, the guitar is obviously built with the same refinement that these amazing French makers have before them. Even when it comes down to the shape of the neck, it's so similar here. But before I dive a little bit deeper into the sound here, I want to cover the rest of the specs. You'll see it is a spruce top, a really beautiful piece of spruce that's not too white, not too yellowed and tanned, but has a really nice glow to it, as you can see. And then looking down here at the tie block, you'll see this nice piece of abalone or pearloid here with the bone block here actually really nicely matching the top of the guitar. It's not a pure white bone block here, which sometimes contrasts the top. I think it's a cool little touch that I don't think I've seen before on a guitar. And then when you turn the guitar around, my gosh, you can see this fantastic piece of Indian rosewood that the gradient of how it goes from light to dark is just so smooth and elegant that it looks like it was done by an artist just painting their brush. And how cool is it that we can appreciate a piece of nature like this? It's so nice. You play a guitar, you like the way it sounds, and then you turn it around and oh my gosh, how awesome it is to have this behind you every time you play it. And then you look at the sides of this instrument. I mean, look how it has the same gradient. I mean, this attention to detail, of course, is his choice of woods that he picked for the sides and the back here. You have this really cool gradient from dark to light again. And this motif, I think you can notice from any angle. I mean, in this video or in the photos, it's pretty incredible. And then when it comes to the neck, I always make some comments on this. I would say it's a medium action, fairly low on the 6th string. The neck shape is a little bit closer to a D shape. It has maybe a mixture between a C and a D shape here. It's fairly thick, but extremely comfortable to play. Nothing outrageous in terms of thickness. Moving on up to the headstock, I already mentioned a little bit about the design of it, but you can see the same piece of Indian rosewood here. Scheller tuners, of course, super smooth, precise tuners. And then, pointing out little details on the headstock here, you can see how the edges are carved here, like I've always noticed on Daniel Friedrich's guitars. Really beautiful little details, no rough edges on this instrument. It just looks perfect. I particularly love on the rosette all of the little colors here, how the orange borders this lighter color right next to that center mosaic. It's just very elegant and a pleasure to look at. I mean, on top of that, take a look inside of this guitar, where you'll see these two little braces that go along the back that carry the number of the guitar, number 112, and also the year. This one's from 2024 in immaculate condition. And of course, you'll see his, his mark there as a luthier along that little piece of what appears to be maple. And it's so cool. I mean, actually, this is very unique, and I've never seen this inside of a guitar. So really cool. I'm a big fan of it, and as I say sometimes on this channel, it's hard to do something totally different that you haven't seen before and do it extremely well to where it's universally accepted. And I don't know, maybe he got this inspiration from somewhere else, but this is the first I've ever seen of this. I have to shut my mouth now and let you listen to this guitar because it is magical. Here's a quick chord test. It absolutely sings. What I love is that I can just hear these incredibly famous fringe makers of the past through this guitar. I'll try to pick out some things. For me, the responsiveness of this guitar reminds me of the very best Dominique Field guitars. The notes seem to pop out of this instrument instantaneously, like they're just right there bubbling on the surface, ready to be played. Especially on this first string, which is a really... It's a singer, you know what I mean? It is. It's almost, you almost have to be careful about playing the notes because it picks up every little detail with this clarity. And then the characteristic that I pick out from Daniel Friederich is just the regality of the notes. You know, notes just seem like when you play them, there's so much fundamental and it stays for such a long time. There's me muting everything else, right? It's like a bell. And you know, it's, for me, this kind of clear departure from a Spanish style instrument where when you push the notes a little bit, it gets quite bright. And that's great for some things, of course. When you really want to punch into the guitar and get this really Spanishy sound, you can get that out of this instrument as well. But this instrument is characterized by elegance. It is just... It's just, there's so much class when you play this guitar. It encourages you to make more refined choices. That's what this guitar does. It's like, especially with the palette of colors, right? It makes you think, wow, well, why shouldn't I play that chord there, right? Maybe I'll test this out with a few musical examples here. I'll play a little bit of Melodia de una Noite by Silvestre Fonseca. Even that bright sound, right? It just makes you keep exploring. Let's try a little bit of Julia Florida by Agustín Barrios. Wow, I love that final chord. How about that for a sound? And just that palette of colors, I can play a few notes bright. And that sounds like an orchestra. You know, I just love when I get stuck on certain chords with guitars. This is what it's all about. Well, I ought to play a piece that I play on every single guitar that comes through here. That's Prelude 11 by Tárrega. Well, there's not much else to say about this guitar. It is currently available at guitarcollection.com. Make sure you check it out there. There's a full description, professional photos. And of course, don't forget to subscribe both to this YouTube channel as well as guitarcollection.com. You'll see a subscribe button on the website so that you can be emailed about new instruments as they come in. I've been doing live streams every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Central Time. I would love to see you there. A lot of times I present new instruments and talk a little bit about guitar and answer questions. Gosh, it is a real pleasure to get to know this guitar by Jean-Noël Rohé. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. Congratulations to him. It's such an honor to get to know this guitar. And this guitar will be going to a very lucky new owner, hopefully soon. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next.